Welcome to Tasty Tuesday, episode 9, brought to you by Transition Nutrition and Fitness Coaching. I'm Angie, and I'm here every Tuesday because it's my passion to help you heal your body and keep it healthy using food as medicine. Each week, I demonstrate a new plant-based recipe along with kitchen gadgets that help make your prep time faster and easier. So if you like cooking and want to make healthy, nutritious, great-tasting meals, please consider subscribing to the channel so you won't miss a single recipe. Today we are going to start off making a black bean burger. The ingredients I'll list in order as we go through. You can half this recipe if you want. Half the recipe makes 4 burgers, but we eat them so quickly that I make 8. So let's get started. First, you're going to take 2 cans of low sodium black beans. Put them into the food processor. Next, 2 cups of rolled old-fashioned oats. You're going to mix this just a tad in the food processor just to start breaking down and combining the oats and beans just a little bit. Just a few pulses is all it takes. You don't want to over break down your beans. Next, you're going to add a half a cup of chopped red onion, a half a cup of chopped sweet red bell pepper, 6 tablespoons of no sugar added ketchup, and we are Heinz fans in this family, but any no sugar added ketchup will work. 2 tablespoons of vegan Worcestershire sauce. Now the reason it's important to do the vegan is it has no animal products. It does not contain fish. I like the Annie's brand and I get it at Whole Foods store. We want 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. And yes, smoked makes a difference. It has to be the smoked paprika. You'll notice it'll say smoked on the label in really small letters. This is a game changer. Totally makes a different flavor. 2 teaspoons of a steak seasoning. We like Montreal steak seasoning. This does make it a little higher in sodium, but it does have that flavor that gives you that sirloin steak kind of flavoring in your burger. Put in your steak seasoning and 2 pinches of cayenne pepper, which is about 1/8 of a teaspoon if you want to measure. All of that goes into your food processor, and we're just going to blend it until all the ingredients are mixed together. Now that we've got it blended together, you'll notice that it starts to resemble a meatloaf consistency, okay? So when it gets to that meatloaf consistency, we're all done blending and we're ready to make our patties. Now, I'm a little anal, so I like to make sure all of my patties are pretty much exactly the same size. That also guarantees that they'll cook more evenly and at the same time in your oven. So what I like to do is take my little cutting mat and I scoop my mixture out onto my cutting mat. And it has little rulers on it. Now you don't have to be that particular like I am, but I kind of like the fact that it shows me the halfway and the quarter way through the recipe. So I get it all scraped out into my cutting mat. All right, I use a Pampered Chef small cutting mat just because it has a little rectangle shape and it has a little ruler guide on it. You do not have to do that. You do not have to be as meticulous as this. You do you. But this helps me feel like I'm getting the same amount of mixture into each patty when I'm scooping it up. So I kind of measure it out, just make it flat into the rectangle shape on the little mat. You want it to be even, about the same thickness on all sides. This makes it go so much faster when you start forming your patties. It takes a little bit of extra time, but to me it's worth it. So now that I have my little loaf here pretty much made, I take a sharp knife and I simply score halfway through lengthwise, halfway through widthwise, and then one more so that I have 8 patties formed. Then I take each one. I have a parchment lined cookie sheet, and I pick up the edge, which is easier said than done sometimes. Plop one of those squares in my hand and form it into a patty. Once you put it on the parchment paper, you kind of flatten it out. I try to make mine bun size. They do not change size or shrink like regular meat does. So you want to make them the size of the bun you're using. We like to use Ezekiel sprouted grain English muffins for our hamburger buns. You cut them and then toast them, and they turn out really nice. While you're doing this, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Scrape up my next little triangle. As you can see, this isn't a perfect measurement, but it does kind of help to make them all be about the same thickness and the same size when you're making your patties. Now, I had someone ask me why I don't tell a little bit about my story while I'm doing my demos, and I really had thought, well, I don't think anybody wants to hear it, but they said I should. So I'll let you know, I have not always been plant-based. In fact, I was a sugar addict and used to eat movie-sized packages of Mike and Ike's and Sour Patch Kids as I graded my papers in my recliner every night in front of the TV. I was hypoglycemic, so that wasn't a very good habit, but that's exactly what it was a habit. And I had a son who was in medical school at the time, and actually most of the time they don't get any nutritional training in medical school, but he wanted to be a more of a preventive style doctor, and he came home for his last year of medical school and was talking to my husband and I, and pretty much told us, Mom and Dad, if you want to live to see your grandkids grow up, you probably need to change some of the ways you're eating. Now, I was lifting weights, I was going to the gym, but I was eating a lot of protein powder. I was eating a lot of turkey, a lot of chicken, which is what my trainer had told me to eat to get nice and strong. And he had me read a couple of books. The first one was Proteinaholic by Dr. Garth Davis. And if that one didn't scare me enough, then I read How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. And that was what changed my mind and made me become a believer in a whole food plant-based diet. Now that our burgers are all made into patties, we're going to put them into our 350 degree preheated oven. We're going to cook them for 25 minutes, then take and flip them and cook them for another 10 minutes. Okay, we cooked our burgers for 25 minutes on one side, flipped them, then cooked for another 10 on the other side. These are great to freeze. You can serve them as they are right now, or put them in the refrigerator, and they last for a little over a week. When we take them out of the refrigerator, I do air fry them for about 5 minutes to crisp them back up before we put them on a toasted English muffin bun and serve them. So in our house, we like to use a little bit of sugar-free ketchup on our burgers. You can dress your burgers just like you normally would whatever toppings you like on your burger. We like a little fresh homemade guacamole. You can refer back to my sauces and condiments video for the homemade fresh guacamole recipe if you want. We put some lettuce, a slice of red onion, and a slice of fresh tomato, and then our veggie burger. And there you have it, your homemade veggie burger ready to serve with some tortilla chips and salsa, some sweet potato chips from the first video, or any other side that you'd like. Thank you for tuning in today, and if you like seeing these demos, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe button below and share this channel with your friends. Also, you can join the Transition Nutrition and Fitness Coaching Facebook group. I post a lot of nutritional articles and recipes, and I'd love to have you contribute to our growing community. Please tune in next week for another delicious, healthy recipe. And remember, plants are the best medicine.